All right, here it is, the moment of truth. 1 year ago, today, this should be the 20th, I started this experiment on eyedropping a metal fountain pen. I did a video on what I thought about it, and then I took this Jinhao X750 and I filled the barrel with Noodler's Red Black. I wanted to get a nice saturated ink and a boutique ink, so to speak, that might end up being a little bit harsher on the metal rather than something like some of the Pilot or Waterman inks, Diamine inks, that sort of thing. So we open it up. The only problems that I had with this, I had no leakage from here. Of course, I tried, just putting water in to see if it would leak from this area. And the only type of leakage I had was right in between this chrome piece. Let's see, get up a little closer there so you can see. Between the flare, the chrome flare at the end of the grip, and then as it begins that black portion there. So that you have the nib, or excuse me, the feed housing that goes into the grip. And I tried to see if I could unscrew that housing from the, this whole nib section there, minus the grip. Because some pins you can remove that. And then grease the threads on that, but I wasn't able to do it and I really didn't want to push it. So I had a little bit of leakage from there sometimes, but I'll show you what I did here in a minute. And then on the inside, so let me, so you can kind of see there, as a matter of fact, just a little bit. So I'm gonna dab that up. I really haven't had problems with that in a while. Okay, so if you're gonna do this, just make sure that you're able to grease as many seams as possible, because again, this was not made to be an eyedropper pen. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and get the paper towels out here. All right, open it up like this. And what I did was I put on an O-ring. There's an O-ring right there. I'll zoom in on it. And then I put some silicone grease around the threads. And that seemed to help. Okay, so I'm gonna pour out the ink. Wow, did you see that? Guess not. It's kind of right above it. But as you can tell, there's still a lot of ink. I've refilled the barrel on this pen a couple of times. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to pause this and I'm going to go clean this up a little bit. And I am kind of wondering though, if even if you didn't have, maybe just get a really small O-ring. This one was kind of fat. So, and what ended up happening was, as you put the cap on, this is a snap cap, of course, it didn't want to fit as well, and I'm getting super messy here. Oh my goodness. Okay, so I'm going to go and I'm going to clean this up a little bit, and then we'll come back and I'm going to put a light down, shine a light. I don't have one of those little bitty micro lights that can go down into the barrel, but I'll try to get as good a look of this pen as possible so you can see if indeed there was any issues. All right, be right back. Okay, here's all the different parts that we got, and this is the feed, obviously, and it doesn't look, seriously deteriorated or deteriorated at all. The channel there seems to be fine. I did rinse all this off. Here's your nib, and the nib seems to be fine. There was, you know, under the nib, of course, okay, there was some ink on there, and I was kind of wondering if it was stained, but it was not stained. So we got that. And then we have the grip section, and there doesn't seem to be, you know, a lot of deterioration in there either, or any deterioration. And then let's see now, and here was the rubber O-ring that I used, and again, you know, that's fine. One thing about that O-ring, as you can see there, it is kind of thick. From the inside and outside diameter there, it's kind of thick. So if you're going to do this on this pin anyway, you'd want to get something thinner to where you can connect the barrel to the grip. A lot better to where it's right now it's nice and snug, and the cap's going to fit on there nice and snug, like so. Okay, so if you got a thinner, the inside diameter is good. In other words, it fit over the threads fine. Fit over the threads fine, but it's just over here, it was just a little too fat. So anyway, so if you're going to do that, make sure you get that right. Little crease right around on the inside, on the edge. I tried to put some grease in there, but to seal that up, but I don't know that it worked. It worked a lot better after I did it. So, okay, the barrel, of course, is okay. There we go. It's pretty good. Okay, so you're not seeing, you know, big chunks having come out. There's some discoloration down toward the bottom there. And as I showed you in one of my videos before, that the ink will discolor the metal, but it's not like it's going to deteriorate it. I didn't have any other leakage around any of these other seams. There was no leakage from where the grip connects with the body there, and like I said, the only little bit of leakage was coming from there. So you know, a different design pin might do okay. Now, as far as you can somewhat tell, now remember, what I did was, get this out of the way. Okay, what I did was I changed the ink out, or I didn't change it out. I refilled it. So I didn't empty old ink and put new ink in. I just, when it was running low, I went ahead and filled it up, basically. And so there was, you can tell that there is some not discoloration, but darkening anyway, and that I would think might be from the metal. This is a fresh swab, and this was a swab of the stuff that I poured out. So, and then I noticed as I was cleaning out the grip section or the feed housing, it was, you know, it kind of has some black. So I don't know, it could have been affecting the plastic itself. You know, we typically are concerned about the metal, but it might have been a little bit of the plastic itself. So, so I don't know. I mean, maybe that does affect that, but at the same time, typical eyedropper fountain pens are just that. They're plastic. So it may have just been some of the manufacturing, a little bit of the manufacturing dust or residue, whatnot. But again, so, you know, I I took this thing and I filled it a year ago. Now, typically, you are not, if you know, you're going to eyedropper a fountain pen, you're not going to let it go for a year and without cleaning it. So if you're going to, you know, you're going to take it out and you're going to replace. If your ink's running low, you're going to go ahead and dump it out. At least I would suggest that you did, and do a little cleaning. You know, maybe replace the silicone grease around all the threads and that sort of thing. You know, maybe just kind of disassemble and clean it, because you know, if there's a threat. But like I said, I didn't have any problems. This thing wrote really well. It didn't burp at all. I was pretty pleased. So now, this is not an endorsement. This is not saying you need to go out and feel free to eyedropper all of your metal fountain pens. I wouldn't risk it in one of your more expensive ones. I mean, even though I don't think, based on this, it would hurt it, but you know, who's going to take the chance? I mean, you gotta, you can get high capacity ink in a long standard international cartridge, and then, you know, with your converters. And if you're like me, you want to go ahead and change out your ink in a short period of time anyway. You know, once you empty a converter, it's time to get a different color in there sometimes. So, but if you're going to be traveling, you want a eyedropper, that's my experiment. And so I just wanted to share that with you. Have a great day.